All right, guys. So earlier today, I put out a story on my Instagram basically saying, ask me anything. And I have tons of questions here to go through with you guys. I'm going to try to finish all of them today. It may be pretty rapid fire, but we're going to see if we can get it all done in one fell swoop. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. First off, who is a better heel, Roman Reigns or John Cena? For me, I got to go with Roman Reigns simply because I don't think John Cena is a good heel by any means. I think that the only reason John Cena was ever going to be a good heel at all was because of The Rock. Without The Rock, John Cena turning heel doesn't make any sense. And honestly, John Cena's whole heel story doesn't make sense at all. He's just fighting a bunch of people who he had history with, but none of them have really any story to them, and it feels like almost like a video game at this point. Like it's kind of just like us watching him have a bunch of fights that we didn't really want to see in the first place. Unless you're like a real diehard John Cena fan, then this is your year. But otherwise, Roman Reigns with the win on that one. What would be your dream match if you were in WWE right now? My dream match, if I was in a WWE right now, I don't know if this is asking me who I would want to fight if I was in the WWE, or like who would I want to see. Um, I guess if I was in a match, I would love to be in a match with Roman Reigns because it would be a main event. Everyone would want to see it because it's Roman Reigns. But my dream match right now, it would have to be Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Honestly, that's the one that we haven't seen yet. The Rock's still young enough to where he could still wrestle if he really wanted to. And obviously, Roman Reigns, he was just fighting, a few months ago. Um, I would love to see a story behind it. I wouldn't want to just see them fight because I'm not necessarily a fan of either of them fighting. However, I would love to see, you know, a 6 month long story play out and then us get to see them at WrestleMania. I think that'd be awesome. Do you think I will be in WWE? Possibly. I don't know who you are. I've never seen you. I don't know what you look like. I don't know anything about you, but it's possible. Which current WWE superstars could have been a hit during the Attitude Era? Um, let's see. I think Damian Priest possibly could have been a hit in the Attitude Era. I think Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, um, Rhea Ripley for sure. Um, let's see. I honestly think Cody Rhodes, this version of Cody Rhodes, could have easily been a hit in that time. Um, there's a few other guys, but for starters, I think that's a good list. I mean, I like Roman. He's one of my favorites, but I don't think that his style fits well with that era. I don't think that the Tribal Chief would have been good with Stone Cold and The Rock running around. Like it just wouldn't have worked out. It's just no. What's your favorite book in the Bible? My favorite books in the Bible are Ecclesiastes and Revelations, or Revelation. Um, why? I don't know. Those are just the ones that always always spoke to me. I like Revelation because it's the one that I find that for some reason most people are scared of, and when you read it, you really kind of get a different. Um, it's actually not a scary book at all. When I was growing up, my aunt used to tell me that it was a scary book, and she's always been scared to read it. And she's in her 60s now. She still hasn't read Revelation, and um, it's just about the end time. It's about what's going to happen when Jesus comes back. And then Ecclesiastes, I love because it makes you realize that all of this stuff is just vain and grasping at the wind, and don't take yourself too serious or any of this stuff too serious. Just eat, drink, and enjoy the day. Um, which shows are you planning on going to in the next year? Um, I don't plan to go to any of them. However, if I get tickets, I'm down to go to any of them. Let's just put it that way. Have you ever been to a WWE live event? Is it like it is life changing? Exclamation point. I've been to one, two. I've been to two in my life. One, I was like 15 years old in Los Angeles, and then I went to one in Alexandria, Louisiana, when I was probably like 8 or 9, and I saw Jeff Hardy for the first time in a live show. Um, the live show was a little weird. I was like, well, "This is different." I didn't really like it that much, but I did like to see Jeff Hardy. I saw him do Swanton Bomb in person. That was really cool. Um, but the one in Los Angeles was an actual. I think it was. I don't remember if it was SmackDown or Raw. I was so young. I was afraid of fireworks, and it was cool, but I couldn't get over all the loud fireworks. Back then, back in the 2000s, everyone had fireworks in the music and all this stuff, and so it was just loud as piss. And I feel like I had to be like 10. Actually, I wasn't 15. I had to be like 10. Um, but yeah, it was cool to go, but I was afraid of everything at the time. And so I'd love to go again now that I'm like an actual adult. um, so let's see. Your favorite match so far this year? My favorite match so far this year would have to be Jordan Grace versus Stephanie Valkyrie. And when I say this year, I'm talking about post WrestleMania, not like all of 2025. Um, just because that match was just so good. They didn't need really anything else. They didn't need chairs or the announcement tables. They just had a really good fight, and I believe it was kind of like a um, almost like a farewell to NXT. Like we're moving on to the next level type of fight, and I really enjoyed that. It was very unpredictable. You didn't know who was going to win. They both sold really well, and at the end of the day, Jordan Grace got Stephanie over, and it was honestly just a really good matchup, in my opinion. What's your favorite pay per view to look forward to? Um, it changes. If I'm honest, I guess I would have to say though, I have to say WrestleMania is just because that's like the granddaddy of them all, like they always say. But I really enjoyed this year Elimination Chamber. I enjoyed it this year just because of the story progression. It felt like all the stories got moved forward. However, post Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania was really bad. And I think that overall really ruined WrestleMania. Let's see. Who is your favorite female wrestler? My favorite female wrestler is Rhea Ripley right now, and it has been for all of this year and last year. Um, I just I just think that she's super dominant. I think that she is the biggest superstar in WWE right now, hands down, men and women. Simply because when she comes on TV, men watch and women watch. She's one of the only people to do that outside of Roman Reigns. Um, and so I think she's the best right now. What are your top three wrestlers currently active in the WWE? My favorite three right now that are active would have to be Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Rhea Ripley. What do you like about the Triple H era? Triple H. That's really it. Honestly, Sting. Sting is my top three favorites. I loved watching Sting come back for that little period of time, but I hate that it was just like Triple H dominance for that whole period of time. Triple H, he's not one in my like top five or anything, but I understand he's really like up there high on the list of legends. Um, but my favorite part about the Triple H era would have to be Sting. As the storylines goes on, sorry, some of you guys grammar. As the storylines go on, do you think Fatu will turn his back on Solo? Absolutely. I think they're building it up right now. I think that at Money in the Bank, it's probably when it'll actually happen. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Solo is in the Money in the Bank match. I could be wrong, but if he is, I think that Solo is going to do something to jeopardize Jacob winning, and then that's what's going to cause him to fight at SummerSlam. That's just that's just my thoughts on that. Who's your goat, and why is it Stone Cold Steve Austin? Uh, my goat is Roman Reigns, and it's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's not Stone Cold Steve Austin because he doesn't have the most main events, and he didn't increase TKO stock the most. Simple as that. When you measure the goats of WWE, and when you measure greatness in WWE, it's measured by WrestleMania main events and increase of TKO stock. Roman Reigns has the most main events at WrestleMania, and he increased TKO stock by 1,000%. Who's your wrestling Mount Rushmore? So I don't know if this is asking me my favorites, like who are my favorite four, or if this is asking me who do I think is the best four ever. You know what I'm saying? However, I'll just do my favorites because if I had to do the best, I'd have to do a different video for that. But I have to go Jeff Hardy, Sting, Undertaker, Roman Reigns. Those are my four. What's your top five favorite wrestlers of all time? No particular order. So obviously those four I just named as my Mount Rushmore. So we got Jeff, Undertaker, Sting, Roman Reigns, and for number five, I have to go with Shawn Michaels. How's your walk with Jesus, my brother? My walk is going great. I read the Bible every day, talk to God every day. The walk is awesome. I don't know what else to say about that. Uh, who is one wrestler for some reason you don't see the hype on? Mine is Damian Priest. I have so many of these. So many of these. Rusev, Sheamus. Um, I don't really see the hype on what is his name? Dang it, I just had it. John Cena. I've never understood the John Cena hype. Man, I have a lot of those. I don't want to bash people, but definitely have some of those for sure. I almost don't see it on Jay Uso. I like Jay. Don't get me wrong. I like Jay. I like Jay more as a person than I do as a wrestler. But I would almost say Jay Uso. CM Punk is one of them. Sami Zayn is one of them. They're just kind of like I don't know. There's like a fly flying around here. They're just like not necessarily my cup of teas. Why do you think Jay? What? Who do you think Jay lose the title to, and do you think Roman gets two more title runs? I think Jay will lose the title to Logan Paul, and I think Roman should get more title runs. I don't know if he will, just because I think it would have if Roman got another title run, it would have to be next year. It would have to be post Cena, post Cody Rhodes becoming the champion again. Um, it would just have to be like we just got to get past this Cena crap first. But I think it's definitely possible. Where can we have a lengthy conversation? Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking about starting up a Patreon for people that actually want to like talk a little bit more and do more like one-on-one stuff. But I just don't have the capacity or the time to talk like just on a whim. I stay pretty busy, and so I'm thinking about creating a Patreon or something like that. That way, people can just basically sign up, and we can kind of kick things off that way. You think that should? You think that? What in the world, guys? We got to work on this. We got to work on this. You think that should the streak have been broken or no? I'm assuming this is asking me, do I think that the streak should have been broken or not? And the answer is no. I don't think that anyone should have beaten the streak. You can tell by the crowd's face when it happened. I think that was a terrible mistake by Vince McMahon, and it ruined the Undertaker's legacy for sure. Do you think Paige is going to make a WWE return? Um, Possibly, but I don't. Honestly, I have no clue. Um, I have no clue. Maybe a Royal Rumble or something like that. How are you doing mentally? I'm doing great mentally. I appreciate you asking. Um, Yeah, I don't really have any complaints at the moment. I'm doing great. I'm just trying to figure out what you guys are texting right now. Do you think I can have a chance with pro wrestling? Again, like I told the other person earlier, for sure. I think that anyone can have a chance at pro wrestling. The thing about pro wrestling is that there is no like age limit or age minimum. Well, obviously it's an age minimum, but like if you're 21, like you're good. If you're 19, you're good. Um, However, I just think it's one of those things where you gotta kind of force your way in. It's not like you don't have wrestling at your high school or at your local rec center. Like you have to go find these different performance centers, go get training, and it's a different ball game. It's not the same as your normal sport. And so I think anyone has a chance. I think if I were to get in shape and find a center here in Dallas or in Texas somewhere, I think in 5 years, yeah, for sure. It's just being able to grind it out for that time period. But if you have the mentality and the persistence and the consistency to do so, and the confidence in yourself to do so, and the skill set, go for it. Is this current era as good, if not better, than the Attitude Era? I think it's different. I did actually answer this question on Instagram. I think it's just different. I don't think that it's better or worse. Um, because right now you have bigger stars, they're getting paid more, there's more breaks. So I think as a wrestler, right now would be the better era to be in. However, I think as a fan, the Attitude Era was better to watch. And so it's kind of one of those things where you got to kind of pick and choose. Like they're both really good, but if as a fan, I got to say Attitude Era just because they gave us so much like so many like classic moments. Like Mankind getting thrown off the Hell in a Cell, like Stone Cold coming in on freaking in diesels and cement trucks, and Kurt Angle throwing milk at people. Like there's just so much stuff that happened that just hasn't happened again. That I wish that they would utilize. Like now it just feels very like professional and corporate, which I get it, but it seems like it's just better for the wrestlers now, not the fans. New follower, have you been to Mania? Thank you for following. I appreciate it. No, I have not been to Mania. I'd love to go. If you got tickets, let me know. What's a fellow wrestling fan got to do to get a follow back? You either got to be my wife or my best friend. Those are the only two people I follow that are outside of WWE superstars. So good luck. What made you get into wrestling? Jeff Hardy got me into wrestling. So when I was probably 6 or 7, my aunt bought me the Leap of Faith DVD by Jeff and Matt, and then she got me a Sting DVD as well. And I would watch both of those all the time. And I had a trampoline outside of my house, um, and I'd have friends over, and we would get ladders and pillows and just like turn into our favorite WWE superstars. And the rest is history. I did that all the way until I was probably 15, 16 years old. And honestly, I wish that I would have known that there was a way to pursue wrestling. Like, I think that a lot of people, especially in my generation, we didn't really know that wrestling was an option for whatever reason. Like, nowadays, you have social media, and so you can kind of just click, 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 boom. Oh, cool, I want to do that. And then there you go. Where, like, back then, you kind of felt like someone had to come knock on your door and be like, "Hey, you want to be a WWE superstar?" And that's just kind of what it was. Like it's a different time period. But I really wish that someone would have um, told me that I could have done that. I mean, maybe I still can. Who knows? Thoughts on John Cena's heel turn so far? Not my favorite. I don't like the heel turn at all. Well, I would have liked it if the story stayed the same. If The Rock was still in it. If um, if it just was what it should have been, like the sell your soul thing and all that stuff. Like I enjoyed that, but obviously we're not doing that anymore, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Who are your top 5 favorite wrestlers? I already answered that. Do you think WWE have made a mistake not doing Cena versus Punk at Money in the Bank? Um, no, we don't need Cena. Why would we need Cena? Why do we need Cena versus Punk? I don't understand. Why do we? There's no story going on there. There's no reason to have it. So No, it would be really weird if they just threw Cena and Punk together and then took CM Punk out of the Seth Rollins thing. Like I think that'd be weird as piss. So nope, not missing anything. What was your first live event? I think again, like I said before, I think it was a Raw or SmackDown in Los Angeles. No, actually, it was the other one. So I was like 6 or 7 in Alexandria, Louisiana. They did a live show there. I don't know if it was Raw or SmackDown. I just remember Jeff Hardy doing a Swanton Bomb, and that's pretty much it. What will happen first? Kenny Omega debuting in WWE or John Moxley returning to WWE? I honestly have no clue. Both could not happen. The thing is, right now, the WWE is at a place where I think that they are pretty set on the men's roster. I think the men's roster is pretty loaded right now. I don't think either one anytime soon. Hey G, who was your first superstar crush, and who do you think is the next name for WWE? My first superstar crush was Sable. Sable. Yep, Sable. If you know, you know. And who do you think is the next name for WWE? The next name for WWE. Hmm, it's got to be Dom or Logan Paul. I know that's not what you guys want to hear, but it's got to be Dom or Logan Paul. Logan Paul's already going for the heavyweight title right now. Dom's the IC champion. I give it 5 years before both of those guys are, you know, heading everything. Your ideal SummerSlam night 2 main event. I would love to see at SummerSlam. I would love to see, man, night 2 main event. Um, it sucks because it's gonna be John Cena. Like it'll have to be John Cena versus like Roman Reigns or something. So I don't really know. Um, I don't really want to see John Cena though, so I'm kind of out of SOL out on that one just because I know that they're virtually saving all the main events for John Cena. So ideally, I'd love to see Roman versus somebody, but again, it's going to be John Cena. What's one thing you hate people say when they hear you love WWE? It's fake. It's the dumbest thing ever. I hate when people say it's fake simply because it's like, yeah, okay, but you watch TV, like, you know what I mean? Like, like, okay, it's fake, but you still watch Netflix. So like, just help me with the logic. You know what I'm saying? It's literally just Netflix, but live. So that's my thoughts. Do you think we're going to get Alberto Del Rio in WWE soon, or will he remain where he's at? No clue. I'm just gonna say he'll remain where he's at, just because I don't really know. Honestly, I don't really do too much research on him. Who was the first wrestler that made you fall in love with wrestling? Jeff Hardy was the first wrestler that made me fall in love with wrestling, and then it was Sting, and then it was The Undertaker, in that order. I feel like Cody's return might be a little too early for what they might want to push him for. I don't. I think Cody's return is perfect. I think it worked out exactly the way it should have. I mean, maybe it could have been at Money in the Bank, and they could have waited for SummerSlam to do Cena versus Cody again. But I think the timing was right. I think they needed to kind of clear things up. I think people were kind of dying down on the Cena heel thing. Like, I don't think people really like it too much as they thought would. And so I think they needed a revamp with Cody. So they kind of just threw him in there. Where are you from? I am from Dallas, Texas. I live in Dallas. I was originally from Los Angeles. Lived in Louisiana, lived in Dallas, and now I'm still in DFW. What do you think is next for Roman Reigns? I'm hoping WrestleMania 42. At this point, I don't really know. I don't really know what he's doing. I know that sometime here, probably in freaking another fly. Probably sometime in the middle of the year, he'll return probably at SummerSlam, realistically, but either at SummerSlam or War Games or something like that. He'll pop up and then he'll main event WrestleMania again. So I'm hoping that's what we get next from him. Who do you believe is a true GOAT of WWE? I already said that Roman Reigns is a GOAT, and it's not even close. The greatest rivalry of all time for me, Stone Cold and The Rock. The greatest rivalry of all time. The greatest rivalry of all time is Vince McMahon and Stone Cold. However, is it my favorite? No, my favorite would have to be it would have to either be Kane versus Undertaker or the Hardys versus Edge and Christian, for sure. And last but not least, this is the final question, guys, and we're wrapping it up. Who was your favorite wrestler from the NXT Black and Gold era? I have no clue because I did not watch that. Sorry. Oh man, that's funny. I have no clue. Honestly, I didn't watch that. Let's see if we have any more questions since we've started this, and if we do, then I'll answer a few more of those. Oh, we got one more. Do you think COVID brought the product down from not having a live audience? Uh, no. I mean, maybe for a second there it did, but like we're 5 years away from that, almost 6 years away from that now. I think we're good. I think things are back to normal. They're breaking records. They're doing things that's never been done before. So I think at one point it did, but now I think we're back to new highs, and it's like it never happened. So anyway, guys, it's been 26 minutes so far, almost 30 minutes of me answering questions. I didn't think that there were going to be this many questions when I posted this video. Maybe I'll do another one like this next week, and we'll kind of get some more questions answered. And so I hope I answered your question correctly in the way you hoped that I would. If not, my bad. Again, I'll be doing this again next week. And other than that, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.